Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome in the all-new Audi Q3. This is the third generation and this is one of the more popular cars of Audi. So far they have sold more than 2 million units of the Q3, and actually this car is a little bit more popular in the United States and Canada compared to Europe. That's a fact I didn't know. Somebody from Audi just told me that they sell around 46% of all Q3s in North America and they sell around 41% in Europe. And then there's some other markets as well, obviously. Now today we have our first drive in the new Q3 and today we're driving the plug-in hybrid version. This is the top of the line version. When it comes to power output, this version has 272 horsepower, but there are obviously a whole lot of other motor options as well. There are 5 powertrains thus far. And I'm pretty sure later on they will also be introducing an S version and an RS version as well, although they have not confirmed that so far. Now let's kick off this video by discussing the interior while we're here, because I think this is the area of the car that has changed the most compared to the outgoing model. The exterior design of this car is also completely new, because the entire car is new, but the interior has changed the most, because the outgoing model still had a lot of physical buttons and a smaller screen in front of you and a smaller screen a little bit down here, but now you get this digital stage, as Audi likes to call it. And by the digital stage they basically mean these two massive screens that you get in front of you. You get this massive infotainment system and also this very large digital instrumentation cluster in front of you, and you can also get a head-up display, although that is an option on the car, so you have to pay extra. Now the infotainment system is powered by Google, by Android Automotive, which I always like in cars when they do that, because that means the car has a lot of compute power, because that's what Google demands from car manufacturers that want to use their software. So it's a very snappy and fast infotainment system. It's quite easy to use, but the only downside is that you basically have to use everything on the infotainment system, because there are hardly any physical buttons left over, which was a good thing in the older model, but in the newer model everything has to be screens like in any other new cars, which means you have to control everything on the infotainment system, which can be a little bit annoying sometimes, especially when you want to operate the climate controls, for instance, because that means you have to keep your eyes off the road and look down at the screen to operate the temperature, for instance, which is always located here on the screen on the lower part. You don't have to go into a separate menu, but again, you do have to keep your eyes off the road to control the temperature, which I don't think is that safe, to be honest. Having said that, you can use the voice control on this car to tell the car to raise or lower the temperature. Now something else that is completely new on the car are the stalks that you get behind the steering wheel. You don't get regular stalks to operate the wipers or the blinkers, but you get these almost like block figures that are connected behind the steering wheel. On the right side you get like a little block thing that you have to operate to put the car in drive or neutral or park or reverse, and on the left side you get the same blocky looking item to control the wipers and also the blinkers as well. It's a bit of a funky looking setup. It does take a little bit getting used to. However, I've been driving the car for around an hour now and I've already gotten used to it, and I actually quite like it, to be honest. They are in hand reach and they're quite easy to operate, so no complaining here. Now the steering wheel is also completely new. This is the steering wheel that you also get in a lot of other new Audi models, like for instance the new Audi A6 and A5. Again, no physical buttons on the steering wheel as well, also some haptic buttons here, but they are actually pretty convenient, pretty easy to use as well. Now the finish here in the interior is, as you might expect from Audi, you get a nice decent finish with suede on the door panels and on the top layer of the dashboard as well. You also get some aluminium finish here on the dashboard. It all looks pretty nice. Now you do have to keep in mind, this is the higher spec car I'm driving right now. This is basically the most expensive version that you can get. If you get a lower trim, you don't get the suede, for instance, here, and also you don't get the aluminium. You get a more basic plastic finish. Now in the center console you get 2 cup holders, and there's also an area where you can charge your phone wirelessly, and there's also a cubby space here behind the armrest. Alright, let's do a little tour around the new Audi Q3. This is the key that you get, just a basic regular Audi key. Let's unlock it, and then you can see the matrix LED lights that are actually down here. They're located down here. These are the daylight running lights. And these daylight running lights are quite special because they have 25,600 integrated micro LEDs. These are very small LEDs and there are more than 25,000 of them in here. And that's why this car can project things on the tarmac. For example, it can project a snowflake symbol when it starts to freeze outside. It's very special technology on this Audi Q3. Now obviously you get the single frame grille, which is even larger than before on the Audi Q3. It's quite a big grille. You also get the new 2D logo from Audi. It's made out of black plastic because there are a whole lot of sensors behind here for the self-drive systems. You also get a small camera down here and there's a whole lot of piano black plastic, glossy plastic on this particular version. This is the top trim that you can get. Now if we go to the side, we go to the wheels. These are the biggest wheels that you can get, 20 inch, but it starts at 17 inch. You can also get 18 inch. There are 11 colors for the new Q3. There are 2 new colors. There's sage green and there's also a new brown color. Now today I'm driving the Sportback version with the sloping roofline, but you can also get the regular version with the more continuous roofline as well. You also get this pretty strong shoulder line, making this car look pretty tough. There's also some pretty ingenious technology at the back because these are the optional OLED tail lights. You can get a lot of figures here. You can change all the figures here in the infotainment system and they are pretty sharp looking. Again, at the back also a lot of glossy black and the Audi logo can be turned on. It will turn bright red when the car is driving. Then let's have a look at the trunk capacity. Now today I'm driving the plug-in hybrid version, which doesn't have that much trunk capacity, only 375 liters, because there is no trunk capacity down here below, because here's the gas tank and the battery pack as well. If you go for a regular petrol version or diesel version, you have 488 liters, which is basically exactly the same as on the older model. Now you can flip down the back seats in a 40-20-40 configuration, and you can also get these nets as an option. All right, let's have a look at the back seat area. Now the back seat area is pretty decent for a compact car like this. And what makes it even better is the fact that you can slide the back seat. The bench is slidable. As you can see, you can put a little bit more forward and you can put it a little bit more backwards. And so you can create a little bit more luggage capacity or a little bit more leg room. Now the materials here in the back are pretty decent. Again, I'm driving the top spec, so you get some suede here on the armrest. A little net here as well, 2 USB ports and some air vents. So let's talk a little bit more about the powertrain. Like I said, there are 5 powertrains so far. There are regular petrol engines with mild hybrids technology. There is a TDI diesel version in some countries as well. And today we're driving, basically the top of the line version. The top of the line version is either the Quattro version with around 256 horsepower. But this hybrid version, this plug-in hybrid version, has a little bit more horsepower, 272 horsepower. It's a pretty zippy car, especially because of the instant torque that you get from the electric motors. I really like this drivetrain. I've been using this drivetrain in different cars from the Volkswagen Group. You can also get this powertrain in, for example, the Volkswagen Tiguan and the Terramar from Cupra, which are basically almost the same car, at least underneath it all. But you can also get this powertrain in a Cupra Leon or a Volkswagen Golf, e-hybrids, Skoda Kodiaq. Basically a whole lot of cars from the Volkswagen Group. Now what makes this powertrain very pleasant is, first of all, you get a whole lot of power, 272 horsepower, but this is also a very economical car because this car has a very big battery pack. Almost 25 kilowatt hours. Which means in the end it will be around 90.7 kilowatt hours net capacity. And as a result, this car can drive 120 kilometers on pure electricity, which is more than the average European needs for his daily commute. So that means if you can charge at home or there's a charging facility near your home, near your street, you can basically drive electric all year round, except for the longer journeys or when you're going to do a big holiday trip. Now you also get a 6-speed automatic on this plug-in hybrid, and it all works very well all together. The electric motor and the petrol engine and the automatic transmission, it all works very well. There are no stutters. It all feels pretty natural to me. Now let's talk about the suspension on this car. Now as standard you get basic steel coilovers, but you can also get a sport suspension, and there's also adaptive suspension. The car I'm driving right now has the adaptive suspension, and you can really notice the difference between comfort and dynamic or sport mode. If you put the car into dynamic, you can actually feel the car tension up, and it actually, well, definitely doesn't feel like a sports car, obviously, but it does feel, well, pretty sporty, to be honest. And if you put the car into comfort, it actually turns into a rather comfortable car. So it's a very good all-rounder, especially if you go for this adaptive suspension option, which can be a bit expensive, because let's talk money. This car starts from around 44,000 euros in Germany. Then you get the entry-level version with the entry-level petrol engine. Now, if you go for the plug-in hybrid powertrain, it will be a bit more expensive. This car will start at around 52,000 euros, depending on your country. Now, I'm very curious what you guys think of this car. Would you either go for the new Tiguan or this new Q3, or maybe for a completely different car from a completely different brand? Let me know in the comments, and if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and then I'll see you in the next video.